Good evening. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. I am across the globe at the Nigeria Public Radio and LTV. That's what introduces this program, and that's what they call Nigeria Public Radio. To our viewers across the land and the earth, and this coming earth, we want to welcome you good morning, good evening, if you're from Nigeria. Or we are right here to the USA, because it's a time change today, right? Well, a lot of people are caught up into it, but we're here to make the news, introduce. This is a regular Sunday edition of Freedom Live. It comes away every Sunday right here, right from the open hour. As the team of analysts are going to be here. A lot of trending issues with development in Liberia on the daily basis. We're going to be looking at wide range of issues, and our pundits and analysts are going to be joining us here in this talking point. If you are here with us for the first time, we wholeheartedly welcome you. This is the network that discusses the issue net personality. We allow our analysts to make their full disclosures in terms of their political affiliation, for the respect of our audience and to hold ourselves accountable for what they're going to do themselves here. And we're going to have these conversations as usual on here. The Liberal Progressive going to be joining us as well by Professor Ase Labor and the best of political thinking analyst. They're going to be joining this conversation. And of course, our own man from time member from my team who say good evening and welcome. Okay, let me see here. So I'm hearing the sound is not that clear. Just let me know if it is okay. So I will. Thank you so much, Brown. If the audio is good, let me know. If not, so we'll make a quick adjustment here. What I try to make it. Is it okay for Mikey or anybody who is listening? Your sound is not clear. Let me just make a quick adjustment. Okay, let me make a adjustment here, and then I will be right back.
Yeah, so everybody, everything's going bad. The situation getting worse. Everybody in the country getting mad. Dishonesty, poverty on the rise. The leaders them making empty promises. Promises with no damn strategies. Yeah, this is better days, money in the pockets. Oh, after holidays only for the bosses. Yeah, there's a better days, money in your pockets. Oh, after holidays only for the bosses. Oh yo, hey, what about the children? What about the people? What about your families? What are gonna eat though? Yeah, so Sophie and we waiting you. Yeah, so waiting and we happy They don't really care about you. They don't care my people is true. They don't wanna see you break through. The whole country's getting
Yeah, the whole conversation is audio is doing well. Let somebody just, make an indication that so I will know. Okay, let's see here. I'm hoping that it's okay from what I see from my own point here. It looks good. All right, so let's get the conversation going very shortly. Our team are going to be joining us here. But it's quite fascinating to see what is happening to the kind of people or individuals that are representing our interests in Liberia. One of those is Opposition's YEKEH'S. He's fighting for the spotlight. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Brown, for being part of for help us out here. So, and the police, it was a press conference that the police spoke out on the education of the police Okay, so the Honorable YEKEH'S is back in the media. He was in before the camera. I'm like interviewing is almost the same time. Down on front, let me see here. Let me see what's going on here. Let's see here. Let's see here. Let me see. Let me. Okay.
locally in my district, story buildings together at the same time. So I thought it was to put him on record by writing the president of this country to have him informed that on the locally why we are struggling in this country, why we are saying no money. Our people are saying on the locally building properties. So I asked the president to please investigate him because he appointed him, he worked directly under Ambassador Weir as Minister for Physical Affairs at the Finance Ministry. To even get our gas as lawmaker, we can't get it. Our people are struggling in the country. They are not being paid on time. We see our Starbucks in the Senate and the House of Representatives struggling to get their benefits. They are protesting every day. Every time we talk, the government will tell us there's no money in the country. But we see ministers are getting properties in less than a month. Go and see the places right here. Go and see. I've been saying this for the past time, and you journalists have not gone there to do your own survey. The place is right here, like 1 minute walk away from my office or from my house. And Wodokoli have said to people that he will pay people to kill me. I'm waiting for him. And Wodokoli have said that he will take me to court. I'm waiting for him. He's not in a private lab anymore. Not the time he was in at UMU when it was alleged that he ate people money there, or when he was working as a junior official to finance ministry when he was sacked and dismissed from finance ministry for corruption. And we see the same thing creeping again. We are calling on the president. Maybe the president has not received my communication. Maybe I stopped on the highway, but my communication was received by his office. With telephone number, I will give you copies so you can see who signed for the communication from the president's office. Since the president came back, we have observed, and it is proven that we have serious increase in the gas price. Gas used to be 300 and $430. Now it's $630. We want to know why the increase. I've done a communication. I'll be going to the federal meeting on Tuesday because Monday is holiday to send for the authority involved to tell us why there's increase in the gas price. But we know that the money that was used by officials on the president counted poor, they're trying to get those resources back. So instead of getting the resources back from where they carry it, they want to get it all the Liberian people, our mothers, our sisters, our brothers, our fathers that got their cars. They have to add more money to the gas price so they can get the money from all of us. I don't think it's fair. I had a press conference last week. I talked about people disrespecting my office. The president came to Lighting to dedicate a project that has been done by UN, not by EU, not by the government. My office was not acknowledged. There was no communication sent to my office for me to be part of the occasion. Since we talk about it, the Internal Affairs, the Deputy Minister for Internal Affairs, Paulina Weir, wrote me a communication that was written on March 11 to grace an occasion on the St. Peace Island on the project that had been done by some NGOs, some of our partners that will be dedicated on next week Thursday. She's invited me to grace the occasion. I'm going to be there. because it is my district. That is what we want. We want a cordial working relationship. We want to work with the government, provided the government want to work with us in peace. We are calling on the president again to tell him that the hijacking and the armed robbery is on the increase in district number 10 because of the criminals that are
Okay. Folks who want to welcome one of our viewers and listeners across the globe. I'm Afonso Z and Sot of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. That's Honorable YEKEH'S is there in a long laundry of layers. Our contributors standing by are going to be going inside Liberia this late hour. Is one of the veterans journalists with independent daily observers. He will be a contributor here at the Liberia Public Radio. He's been with us quite a while, but I took a break. So Mr. Hammer is standing by. I'm going to be bringing him very shortly, and we're going to be having this conversation. Stay tuned. I will be right back with you. Okay, that's it. All the politicians in Liberia and everybody loves the media attention. The media also love to drive into people's narrative. He's been around here. Let's see this one here. This is something way back here. And when I saw him, I thought he was Oga, but
I was placed on the committee in my absence, so I don't know for what reason. So I decided to decline. So I declined from the committee.
The reason should be stated in plenary.
Yeah, I should know what I'm going to go do. I should know my terms of reference, what I'm going to go do, and what I'm supposed to say. So I shouldn't just go on a committee because I want to be a part of a committee. I didn't just come here to go on any committee. So I declined from the committee.
Are you aware there is an acute shortage of petroleum products in the country and that you were given the authority now to go and investigate what the cause of the acute shortage of petroleum products in the country?
I'm aware. I'm aware of the situation.
Okay. He has been in the eyes of the media, and he loves being in the problem. Okay, William, just come on. I believe the audio is okay. Just make sure you do what is right. So let me go back to this here because this other interview it draws my attention.
The looting is in the face of the people. Look at the country.
Hey guys, my name is Eric.
Oh, let me see here. Just hold on one second. Let me see. Let me see this here. Let me see here.
You carry the gas price up to $360. You say no money. I mean $630. You say no money for anything in the country. Our people can get food to eat. One deputy minister building in less than 2 months. He has built 2. He coming to finish with all 2. It's going. Building storage buildings. Like in my district, you see, they come take the Lebronpo building Lebronpo money to come for it. Why are you proofing? Mr. President, be aware. When I met you, when I was forced to meet you, I told you, Mr. President, when you are going, Eugene Namwe will not go with you. Eugene Namwe was sitting right there. I said, Sime Tobe will not go with you. Sime Tobe was sitting right there. I told you, Mangela was sitting between you and myself. He thought I was going to blow you. Mr. President, I will not blow you. I will not blow you. But you'll be arrested and prosecuted. You'll be handcuffed in the country as a common criminal. Then when you are handcuffed, Mr. President, you know you serve a UN ambassador, GUE ambassador. You spoil your character. You allow people to spoil you the way they are spoiling you. You're not taking action. You'll be dragged to court. Mr. President, you'll be dragged to court. And you'll be handcuffed as a common criminal. Watch and see. Watch and see. We want to see the next government coming. And they don't prosecute you. They don't prosecute you and the Samurai will call it them. Then you will know. You will know. Then that government will see. That government will see. Then that means will know that the bread is going nowhere. We should just bring you back and you enjoy yourself. Because if the next government come and they don't do nothing, I'd rather run a campaign, Mr. President, for you to come back as president. That means they are not useful. That means they are useless sort of people. and we'll tell them to be very useless set of people. We will do that. We are being elected to talk for our people. And we will look at it. You don't know I'm supposed to talk. You think so? Look at build kind of thing here. They are gonna talk for what? You think I don't know how you got that property? You think I don't know who you bought it from? You think I don't know? Take me to court. Take me to court. I want you to say you will pay Zogo to kill me. I'm waiting for them. I'm waiting for them. I'm waiting for them. You say the president is building, building 12 buildings, so you will build. So I want to see how far my communication goes. And I'm going to do another communication to the president's office. The communication I will go to our partners. When they receive it on Tuesday, we'll put it on the social media. And your name there, Samara, your name there, telling the people that you have looted the Lebrepo cover, you have looted the Lebrepo money, and you enriching yourself here. Because you say the president will not build and you don't build. They come in to change you. In fact, they feel they want to take the job from you according to you. That's what you said to me in confidence. You will not go empty-handed. So you have decided to put something on the ground here. We want to say thank you for building. But the next government will take these buildings from you. Because we knew you. We knew your record. When you were the finance ministry, we knew your record. You know had nothing for yourself. And some of our colleagues can wake up and talk about the mental $400,000 from the bank. And they know I told them $400,000 from the bank. You see the justification? Criminals will always be criminals to back themselves, to back one another. You're a lawmaker, you telling me that the mental $400,000 from the bank. Tell me nothing next time we'll call your name on the national radio. What's wrong with you? The other one can look at me and talk about the mental $200,000 from the bank. You think the bank don't know who to give that kind of money to? You get that kind of money in the bank. The people that even saving in your bank, they can get $200,000. You can't talk about you give somebody $400,000. What kind of disgrace country is this? Mr. President, I'm waiting for a response from my communication. If you will not say nothing, but just let me know. Say, yeah, you're wasting your time. Then I will know what Samara told me. They're not true. Then I will tell my back to Samara. I will come to you. Then we will know face to face. I won't say some things now, but I want to see what you will say on my communication. I guess something to tell you, Mr. President. I guess serious thing for us to talk, for the Lebron people to hear. But let me see what you do with my communication. I'm sending another one again, telling you I want to see all it. And the people, my supporters are saying I shouldn't do it. When you go there, you will die. Oh, Mr. President, you can't do nothing to me. Let me tell you something. The medicine you get, I say get medicine too. My own powerful than your own. So when you bring me the audience, I will come and ask you. I will ask you a few questions. And one of the questions will be, have you received the communication on Samara Wolokoli? Have you received it? And Samara Wolokoli said to me that you're building, so he will build that true. And the questions I want to ask you, maybe my letter not stop the Nathaniel Magee office. Honorable Magee, please get my letter to the president here. I know I address it to you. I know I address it to you. Say, Ambassador Weir, you don't know that all your officials know that you're not going for second term. They want to be senators and representatives. Now, saying you don't know, sit down and let them make for all of you. When we're to handcuff you and drag you in the street of Morovia as a common criminal, then you will know. We got a lot of things to talk. But let me read the second communication. And I don't get redressed in 2 weeks. Then the thing we're supposed to talk, we'll talk again. Everything Samara told me not true. All the other ones he told me, I will tell the Liberian people. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, I want to say thank you for coming. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I want to go after then I'll listen to you about communication to the president. I mean, he did mention was that's one of the things we saw what the issue. That's one of the things I didn't communication with the president.
No, I wrote him to investigate the attitude of his minister. He appointed him. I wrote him to invest. I want to put him on record. I want to get to somewhere. So I want to put him on record before I get there. It's about the investigation of Samara Wolokoli. We want to know how Samara Wolokoli got that money to build all these story building he's building here. Have you put one that you see here yesterday and ask question? By the time you leave for going rare, then Samara will call somewhere again. They will not play the thing. You journalists have become an embarrassment to the country too. Sorry, but I have to talk. I want to provoke you so you can go play it. I want for Samara to sue me.
Thank you. Yeah.
My name is Mini Simbo from People's TV. I'm calling to you, so you have calling for Wolokoli. Can you give it to us?
Yeah, I will put it on CDs and give it to you because I want you to see the house building. It's all on the social media. It's on the social media. Go and see what I want you to deny it. I know how you got the property. I know who you bought it from. I know who he bought it. And he said he bought it like his sister bought it. Wonder where the sister working.
How much you pay for it?
I will not tell you now.
Yes.
When we reach the court, and he said, when sue me, you court. I'm gonna give you my evidence here. Then one will get to the court.
Okay. What an interesting country it's in Liberia, folks. Okay, gentlemen, yeah, we are back in the spotlight in the news. Mr. President, people, I'm not gonna something you want to blow me?
I don't even know what blow is.
You want to punch? You want to point me? Maybe Pajo, is that a blow you're facing to punch me? Pajo.
Yeah.
I said you want to blow me?
Yo, the audio, something is wrong with your audio.
I'm getting you good.
Okay.
You hearing me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Our man William Hammond is with the Daily Observer's newspaper, also a contributor to the Liberia Public Radio. He's there. Please bear with us. That's the same current situation we are talking about. Hammond, are you hearing me?
The line is bad. I'm not really actually getting you coming in broken.
Are you using an earpiece? Samson, you getting me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Yeah, so
I need to log out and log back in to see how it works.
Yeah, try to do that, but you also got to use maybe your headset. So go back and see whether you can try on. Let me just get you up. Okay, gentlemen, here we are. I don't know who was wondering where has he been, what's going on. He been missing in action. But one thing for sure I can say, we are in a double crisis in the country because if you go further down to that tip, he was not elected to be on committee. He's there to go talk for his people. So I'm wondering how you going to talk for his people when he doesn't even want to be on committee. Look, Amos George, Samson Toh, we are in a double crisis in the country, and it starts also with both houses of government. We see the executive branch part, but it is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Don't get me wrong. Some of his arguments, some of his point, I kind of like, but the context in which he compiles and the manner in which he channels his grievances, it is just unbelievable. And I'm wondering whether people are talking to him. Do you have a chance to ever talk to him, by George?
No. You know what? I will try to talk to somebody so I can maybe get in to talk to see if I can speak the number you get called back. As you are saying, he is a good person, but he meant good for his people. But the way sometimes he channel is where the problem is. And there are other factors, I think, that play into it. I mean, some of the talking point he'd say is very logical. But I think it's the channel, the presentation. There I have an issue with him. But you saw what he said there. That he said people had talked to him that he should tone down the rhetoric. And he said for now he tried to tone it down and willing to work with the president. Okay, but if the president doesn't want to work with him, then he will forget what he told. He will go back to his old spot.
Is that a tantrum he's trying to seek another attention, or what it is actually? Because I try to wrap this here. We want to welcome a veteran journalist, formerly with the State Broadcasting Corporation, ELW8 and State Radio ELBC, Mr. James Gomian, joining us here from the Garden City of New Jersey. Mr. Gomian, to welcome.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for being here. You are a guru and giant into this. Good that you are putting your retirement in LPR. Unfortunately, there's no 401k, there's no 401b, so that's a I'm not sure what going to be the dividend at the end, but definitely Liberia itself going to be the dividend in the end. So that's the good thing about it. Okay, let's bring in from the city of Maryland, Baltimore. Is the founder of Gillen Polytechnic institutions in Liberia and community activist, Professor Asese Labo Zawlo, as usual, joining us, best political analyst here this evening to dissect some of the happenings in Liberia. Professor, good evening and welcome. Okay.
Good evening, and good evening, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, Samson.
Yes.
I believe you had a chance to speak with Representative Yeke Koluba, right, in the past.
That's right. But
okay.
this it's liberal progressives, not Samson to you, please.
What's the difference with Samson to and liberal progressive?
No, when I'm on the show, I'm a liberal progressive because I got you and Mr. Amos George, who are conservatives. So I want to distinguish myself immediately for the audience to know that I'm a liberal. I'm not here to do kumbaya between two of you. So I want you to refer to me as liberal progressive, please. But anyway,
you want to be another Yeke Koluba on LPR?
Mr. So, I'm just giving it to you as it is. But here's what I think. First thing first, Mr. So thank you for inviting me on this show. And I want to say good evening to all my colleagues here as well. Now, I spoke with Yeke Koluba some time ago when there was some issue within, I'm not going to say the context of the conversation. But Yeke Koluba just doesn't like nonsense. Simple. I just want to give it to you as it is. When I call Yeke Koluba, he picked up my phone. And I tried to explain to him what was happening. And he told me, Mr. To, I respect you. But if this subject don't come to an end right now, I'm going to join CDC. I said, the subject finished. Let's stop the conversation and go back. God, I don't want you to join CDC. True story. He threatened to join CDC if I bring that subject matter up again. But that's who it is. And one other thing I want to point out here on a very serious note is this. I'm so glad that prayer to God works. I've been praying for Yeke Koluba to be well because in few months past, Yeke Koluba, when you look at his pictures and things like that, he didn't look well. But look at it. Look at the video. He's shining. God is just wonderful. And God has helped us and answer our prayer. Yeke Koluba seemed to be fine. Now, the issue here is, you say you want to drag the president in the street in his underwear, but yet still you want to have an audience with this president. And you expect Dr. Weah to say, yeah, come on, let's have an audience. I don't believe so. So I think Yeke Koluba will be better to set his office on Broad Street because that's his another threat. That if people don't listen to him, he's not going to do any house. He will go in the street and have conversation. Look, Mr. So, Yeke Koluba, even though some of us don't like his antics and stuff like that, the way he carried on with his message, but Yeke Koluba is serving a specific purpose in our country. That country needs people like Yeke Koluba. And here's another interesting thing that might happen. If Yeke Koluba goes to the Senate, he's going to shake the Senate up big time. And I'm not too sure. In fact, I would think that people like Buffer Chima praying to God for him to be moved up to the Senate. And what's his name? Abachir over there praying to God that he doesn't come to them. So that's going to be a very interesting thing to see, Mr. So.
Okay, let me hold you there. Hammer, are you hearing her? William? Mr. Hammer, are you there? Oh my goodness, this internet system in Liberia is another pain in the neck. It's a pain in the neck. It's a pain in the neck. So, okay, let's go to outside of USA to our neighbor. He's our foreign affairs analyst. He's the president of the Liberian community there in Canada. Also executive director of Empowerment Square, Mr. Leo DePolit Johnson is standing by. Let's bring him here as well. Okay, Professor Asese Zawlo and Mr. Gomian. Look, Professor Leo, welcome. I don't understand this something tall guy here. He wants to be in 2, 3, 4, 5 places at the same time here, but that's a different ball game. The guy say he wants to drag the president. He was not elected to be on committee. He was elected by people to talk, but the parliament constitute committees, different form of committees that where to go into caucus and I have a discussion and put issues on the table. And like what Samson, his patron said, the next thing now he's going to be taking his office is maybe in the streets of Monrovia. If he can be heard, Mr. President, I'm not going to blow you. Don't get afraid. I'm not going to blow you. Look, this is ridiculous, the kind of people we have in there. Because when the people sit down, how can this grand audience or somebody supposedly intend not to diagnose people here, but with a lot of issues perhaps that needs to be addressed? I wonder why we are heading in this direction. Professor?
Oh, well, yeah, I don't know why, Liberal Progressive have been very good lately. He was very, very, on point the other day when he said governance is not something you should take lightly. People need time to do what they promised. But currently, I think he's gone off target. To say that our society, our country, our legislature needs a person like YEKEH, I think it's a disrespect to the Honorable House of Legislature. I don't think we need a YEKEH Koluba. YEKEH Koluba balance is uncouth, and he's not representative of a person that we should see in such an august body. He adds nothing to our democracy. He takes a lot from it. He subjects Liberian to mockery all over the world. So there's not anything he's bringing to the table that is meaningful for us to need. I think one of the things we need to be talking about in Liberia is how can we tune down our rhetorics? How can people from different sides of the political aisles be able to engage and discuss issues in a civil manner, reach consensus, forge common grounds, and attend to the burning issues that affect our people? And I think we can do that without resorting to profanities and vulgarity, as has become a custom of YEKEH Koluba. I tell people most of the time, a good number of my friends are some of the top leaders in the ANC, or very close associates of Cummings. Good number of my friends are very close associates of Cummings. And we do have fun. We disagree. And we talk frequently. It doesn't mean that we have to be using vulgarity or, making threats to get our point across. No. And so I don't think we need a person like YEKEH Koluba to help us in any way. I think to the contrary, I think the legislature should be using existing laws. I think I heard that it's a law that could possibly be used to get a person like Koluba evicted, removed from the legislature. And it's not just him. There are other people, some of them, from other political parties.
Are you checking that, Professor, quickly before I go to Mr. Gomiant, and I'm not sure whether Hammer is hearing or yeah. Are you taking the partisan line here to have to sanction or to remove Honorable Koluba because of his utterances towards the president? Is that the case or what?
But then you didn't allow me to finish, because I was just about to say, I said there are other individuals within the political party that some of us come from. Okay. I don't think
can you name one from your party?
Go ahead and do the naming thing.
Sorry, more George.
You're a smart man. I don't know about that, but you can do the naming.
Yeah, okay. I'm smart, but go on, look for
Mr. Joy, let the professor carry on. So
I finished. You already finished naming somebody. I didn't name anybody, so that's fine. I can give other people a chance to talk. But we don't need such individuals within our body politics to elevate it. Look, we have tons of problems, and such people should be rooted out. And it's not just people from the opposition. There are some people today. I don't want to call the name, but I listened to a government official speak, And I was
Why-
amazed.
We don't
But
have secret here, Professor. If you don't,
I'll
why you
tell you
don't
what I
record
did.
me?
I'll just tell you what I did. I recorded the video and I sent it to my English teacher at my high school to use it to teach the students how to participate in conversation. That this is a typical example of somebody who doesn't know how to discuss. I mean, the guy was all over the place. He couldn't stick with one thought. And so we have them all across, all over the place. And these people don't belong in government.
Okay, yes, thank you so much. They don't belong in government. Let me go to veterans, Mr. James Gomian. One-time presidential expiring, is that the case?
Well, we were observing, and we hopefully were observing the political system and the political process in Liberia. We didn't actually get in the race. We were trying to see how it works, how things work in Liberia.
Okay.
But
hold on one second, Mr. Gomia. Let me see. Hamo, are you hearing us now, William? Oh my goodness. Are you hearing us, Hamo?
Mr. So one of the things you could do, you could get rid of the video and then you just be on
Yeah,
audio.
I think maybe because Liberia that
the network is that strong.
You need to. Is that a CDC?
The internet is.
Are you hearing me? Yeah, are you hearing me?
Faintly, the line continued to breaking, so I will hear some voice and then later on I won't get anything again.
Okay, so maybe
I don't really understand what is being said.
All right, maybe they turn the current off and I play that. Okay, you know what? We're gonna find another way to get it going, and no need to. Which probably when the program comes on in the day, maybe we're gonna have a better reception time. No need to really kind of like keep you on. If you were not here, it means you're not gonna be making as much. You want to make a good contribution. I think that's a problem.
But I don't know. I don't know whether you people hearing me.
We're hearing you.
We can hear you now. But we don't know if that will continue.
Yeah, I know it won't be possible tonight because of the internet. But I would just like to say I'm grateful to have been a part of this, and I'm glad to be sharing this platform with these distinguished personalities. All of these are my fathers, my brother Nepolu. This is someone I remember very well from Ivory Coast, from Danone. Though we were small, but he was somebody that I knew. His sister Yasa Nepolu, we all were in the same church. We were in the same choir with my sister. So despite the frustration to now with the internet, I think I who have had the opportunity to have drank from the fountain of knowledge of these panelists who are here. But unfortunately, it cannot happen. So I hope I'll have another opportunity to listen to these distinguished people. So I'm very, very much sorry tonight. This is Liberia.
Yeah. This is Liberia. Thank you so much.
The liberal progressive is here as always, and the knowledge of the fountain of knowledge, liberal progressive is here always. That's a liberal view.
You know what? Notice about this guy.
Don't hesitate to listen to the liberal progressive all the time. This is Liberia. Honor Dr. Weir. This is what we got. So we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
Is that what you want to go, Mr. Tool?
You see, Samson is a very jealous guy because he called Johnson's name and he never heard his name. He decided to squeeze himself. He decided to make. I hope you don't want to punch this guy here before he ran away from here. So please,
Mr. So, quick thing. Is Mr. Hammer? Is it William Hammer? Right? Is he going to be? You want him to be contributing on a frequent basis?
Yes, but it will be more or less Saturday in the coming Saturday program, which will be in the day.
Connect us. Let me speak with him and see how I can help to improve this reception. I think I should go to do something.
Oh no! Oh no!
Do your own,
I smell something coming. I wouldn't even connect us. Oh my goodness! Let this young man be pure. He's neutral right now. Please, CDC professor, please Don't hook him up with yeah. I don't know.
You too, Professor.
I just want to give the guy. I just want to give him some help. You know, I'm sure if you have
that's who Essex Zablo is. He doesn't know that.
I want to give you some help to come on. You know, no.
Yeah.
Listen, Liberal Progressive. Listen, my wife in my house is not a sedition. So you got that right. So I don't impose my views on my people.
All right. Okay, gentlemen, let's get a talking point. That's who Samson Toe is. He always tries to get attention. And he knows that I'm not going to buy into his attention. He wants to distract us here this evening here. Okay, let me go to veteran journalist James Gomian. Somebody said, oh, I know Mr. James Gomian from ELWA, James Tunnel. You see, so, you know, it had to get together. Okay, Mr. Gomian, let's get to this point here. Look, we are in a very difficult and consequential movement into what is playing out into Liberia. And honestly, both the GOL and the opposition, they are enormous problems they are not touching. If you listen to Representative YEKEH'S, the context in which he tried to channel his grievances, his message, not having saying any of his group to say, hey, let's slow down the speed. This is how we can do it. This is how it can work. How can you be a lawmaker and you say you don't want to be part of a committee because, quote unquote, in his words, he will be sanctioned. He will not have his way, and the people did not elect him to be on a committee. Where in the world that sort of interpretation comes from?
Well, I have always said, Mr. So, that Mr. YEKEH'S needed to get people around him involved, especially his colleagues in the House, if he wanted to make an impact. Now, secondly, you cannot be elected to the House and say you cannot work on the committee, because I mean, then what are you there for? These committees, some of these committees have oversight over other ministries and places, and I don't even like for Mr. Koluba to be putting everything out in the press that he wants to do. And speaking of dragging a president, that's a president of the republic in the street naked, those are things that should not be condoned. You cannot talk to us. If you don't respect the man, at least respect the office. That's the highest office.
Does he understand that? That's the key question.
Yeah, that's the highest office in the land. And this man was elected by the people of Liberia. And if the people of Liberia do not like what he's doing, they're going to throw him out in 2023. And if you have personal problem with him, I don't think you should come out in the press to advocate violence. That's what I say. He's a sitting lawmaker. We respect him. And for him to even say he's not working on committees, how will he represent his people? That's the people's house. How are you going to represent your people if you refuse to work on committees? And every time you call the press and you go on a tirade and you just talk and talk and talk, if he wants to be effective, Mr. YEKEH'S should have been lobbying his fellow legislators to come to his cause on what they want to do. You see, in Liberia, one of the things that we are doing in Liberia, one of the things lawmakers are doing, they blame everything on the president. I mean, that's the first branch of government. The legislators should be enacting law that will help move our people up from the stage that we are in. We have massive unemployment. We have, we have a country that does not even have electricity. We have a country that people do not have safe drinking water. And these lawmakers are not going together to see how they can put things together to help the country. Instead, everybody just say, oh, it's the president, it's the president. We have three equal branches of government. Now, if the other branch is not doing its work and they're just trying to blame the other branch, how are we going to move the country forward?
Okay.
Mr. YEKEH'S should be trying to lobby his friends. If he has a vision for Liberia, lobby your friends in the legislative branch to come to your aid, come together and do it. He been doing that, and I said you cannot just go alone. You have to solicit help from other people and have a consensus to be able to put laws forward that will help our people.
Okay, to help our people, let me turn to Canada where Mr. Johnson is standing by. Look, Leo, I don't know whether the new lobby is rating in within the belt of the Capitol Hill in Liberia. I don't know. I still pondering as to whether some of these people that know their functions for which they were elected, and like what Mr. Gomian said, the three branches of government work simultaneously with distinct responsibilities. But here we are. I'm not sure whether we'll come to a resolution to the enormous problem when these institutions are unable to take to follow the lead, to have this sort of conversation on themselves. When Darius Dillon can be able to sit with Sir Joseph or Akara's grave for 2 minutes and hell going to break loose, when you have a representative who said he doesn't want to be on committee, Mr. President, I want you to prosecute this person because you are the one that appointed this person, even though he claims that he has enormous evidence of his doing wrong. I have to understand, how can you figure that out? Are these people, why should we want to lay blame on the executive when we have people who are not willing to also do their job?
It's a very interesting thing. And let me start by stating for the record, and good to see all the panelists, and greetings to everybody out there listening. But let me start by saying, first of all, I condemn this whole attitude, this new trend of political communication in Liberia, where people just set up and insult people and publicly denigrate people. Our children are listening. Our children are watching. And this is how we're telling them that it is the way they should communicate. It is the way they should engage. So I condemn that straight out of the box. I don't care who you are, whether it's Yeke Koluba or it's anybody else. Because now it's not just Yeke Koluba that engages in this type of act. We've seen many of our political leaders and politicians doing this, and not just politicians, other leaders as well. But let's get down to the problem. Yeke Koluba is not the problem. Liberia is the only country where we ask people to do jobs for us, and then we disempower them to do their job. We don't give them any capacity to do it. How can people expect somebody to win an election to be in the House of Representatives or the House of Senate when there is no school that teaches you? Nobody knows what they're supposed to actually do there. There is no website. There is no information about this place anywhere. So you got a bunch of people running for jobs that have no clue what the job is to begin with, but they might get elected because they are popular in your district. Now, the way you solve this problem is you cannot hold people accountable when you did not empower them. You can only hold people accountable for the things that you empower them with. So we elect people to the House of Representatives, to the House of Senate, and leave them to go on their own and figure out what they're supposed to actually do. So they do it whichever way they feel they're supposed to do. Then we come back and complain that they're not operating the way they're operating. They don't know their job description. Have you ever seen the job description for Senator or Representative rating anywhere? I haven't seen it. So my point here is this. In any serious country, if we want our democracy to be serious, I think places like the legislature should have an entire institute. In serious countries, that's what they actually do. When you get elected, your first 30 to 60 days, you are in school. You basically go through this robust orientation process for understanding the rules, the processes, the protocols, what you can do and cannot do, the code of conduct, who you are. Because the reason to do those things, if you go contrary, then they have a reason to hold you accountable. Because you were educated, you were orientated, and you were giving a particular set of principles and guidelines for which you should operate as a lawmaker and what you're supposed to actually do. But Liberia is the only country where people get, let me not say the only country, maybe there are other countries, but let's talk about Liberia particularly. Liberia is a country where people get elected to a serious branch of government like the legislature. A powerful, we give people this enormous power when they have no idea the consequences of not using it properly, when they do not even understand the gravity of the power that have been vested in them as a result of this position that they have taken, when most people have never even understood their full job description. So let's leave Yeke aside. Let's talk about the bad attitude. That's great. But Yeke is not the problem. I know many lawmakers, both in the Senate and in the House, that have no clue what they're doing, not because they don't insult. They themselves are getting it horribly wrong. So let's face the consequences of what we've done. We've created a powerful instrument and put people there and give them the power, but they not even help them understand what the heck we've just done by putting them in the places we put them. The problem, mandate the legislature to build some type of institution that says, the law says when you get elected as a member of the House or senator, your first 60 days on the job, you are basically in school where you are being taught your job description, you are being explained, you are being made to understand what even budgeting is, what is making laws. There are lawmakers that don't even know how to draft a bill. They have no idea what drafting a bill looks like before I talk about putting one on the floor. So they're doing it by try and error. And then when we see them make horrible mistakes, then we come and complain. I like to get to the root causes of problem. YEKEH is one person. We will have a lot of YEKEH'S that will continue to do this because there is no framework of accountability. We've disempowered them. We've given them enormous power, but in the same breath, we've disempowered them to be able to serve the Liberian people.
Okay, let me hold you right there. What a long laundry list, and I see the liberal progressives is working. It's finding himself very uncomfortable right now. He is a Liberty party partisan supporter of the Liberty Party. Am I correct, Liberal?
Liberty Party USA, please.
Liberty Party what?
Liberty Party USA.
Liberty Party. I don't know why you like to put hook on this thing here, Liberty Party USA.
Because I don't have credential. Liberty Party Liberia. I only have my ID.
So guess
and
what?
the sticks on my ID.
Like
Liberty Party USA.
You are a prodigal son, because then whatever you say here, you don't want to be like Professor Zablo. You are like you're hanking like
Mr. So, please don't take my time away. I think you allowed every one of us time. You're trying to filibuster my time here, and I think that's something you have to stop. But of course, I'm not surprised. You're conservatives. This is how you guys come to power, and this is how you guys want to operate. So I'm not surprised. Let's take it one at a time. First thing is that I don't need a professor, CDC professor, to validate my position. I know my position. I can speak freely, and I will do that again tonight. When it's time to say what I believe,
are you a Liberty Party engineer?
Excuse me?
Are you a Liberty Party engineer?
Mr. So, why will you classify me as such?
But why will you classify Professor Zablo?
Because he's a sedition, and he's a professor.
Okay,
so let me finish. Like I said, don't filibuster my topic. Let's go on. Like I said, I don't need a professor to validate my point. I will speak my mind freely. I noticed, Mr. Leo. I think let me just say this here. Maybe I'm wrong, but let me just say this from what I've been listening to Mr. Leo for the past month or so. I think Leo seemed to be speaking way above my thinking and way above what I think is happening in Liberia. Leo is speaking as though we're 10, 15 years ahead of us. Leo is not speaking at things, from my perspective, Leo is not speaking as things are today. Now, let me just say something else. When this whole government, Liberia, since the war, before these senators and representatives, before they were seated, they have training in Ghana. If people don't remember that, they have training where legislators and lawmakers went to Ghana and they were screwed on how to legislate. They know those. Now, if Leo will say here that these people are just daily running, now again, I'm sorry for Professor to say this, but I'm going to say it. These people sit in a country where this country is not a banana republic. These people make law. If you do little more research, you will find out that these people have a website where you can go and obtain information. Yes, they do. I've done that. I've done the show. I know that. Where you can go and find information about each of these representatives and their scorecard, their grade card. It's there. It's there. Who up for bill? Who put their name on the bill? Everything is there. Everything is there. Now, for us to sit here and say these people that don't know what they're doing, yeah, okay, that's your view. That's your view. But I would disagree with it. These people know exactly what is happening. Now, let's get back to Mr. YEKEH Koluba. YEKEH Koluba came into this position. First, he wanted to work with the speaker. They decided to sideline him. And when they did that, if you watch the whole YEKEH Koluba coming to the scene, he didn't just come to the scene overnight. It was an issue with the late Hillard Lawrence and the speakers. And Yeke Koluba wanted to say something that they refused. Every time he tried to offer something on the floor, they refused. So he decided to take this route. Now, Yeke Koluba is not threatening anybody. I'm sorry, Mr. So, you should have played the entire video. Yeke Koluba said, and I'm not here to defend Yeke Koluba. You can do that. You bring it on here, he would put every one of us in our place. So I'm not worried about it. So I'm not here to defend Yeke Koluba. But this is what Yeke Koluba said. He said, from what I've heard from the video, and I'm just paraphrasing now, he said that this president has taken the Liberian people money, and that all the building he's building, Liberian people will seize them once the power is over. This is one of the things he stated. We will take you as a common criminal as you are, and we will take you to the place you're supposed to go. Now, if you play the entire thing, you will also understand Yeke Koluba was suggesting to the incoming government.
Okay, let's roll the tape. Let's roll the tape in the interest of fairness. Let's roll the tape in the interest of fairness, I'm saying.
No, but let me explain first. Then you can bring it down. Your audience will know that I'm authentic. Please, don't try to filibuster me right now. So Yeke Koluba came up. At the end, he said, during the turnover period, he said, I will ask the incoming government to make me the police director, and I will wait for him down. As soon as he finishes turnover, when he comes out, we will arrest him. So Yeke Koluba is not threatening anybody. Please.
But hold on one second. Let me just stop it right there. Is that how our jurisprudence system works? That the police director, as soon as he's appointed, will see someone walking down the street and then take them from right there? And that's not.
Well, that's yeah. I'm just saying what Yeke Koluba said. I'm not going into I'm not discussing the logic.
That's not what you're saying.
Oh, this guy.
Progressive. That's not what you said. You concluded. You catalog statements that were allegedly made by Yeke Koluba, and then you concluded by saying so. He's not threatening anybody.
So, Professor. We are obligated to our audience, and we want to keep the news proportional. He requested that I played the video. I deal with this guy on a daily basis, and that's part of the problem during the program, out of the program. What you say, Leo?
Mr. So, I just want to correct him. There's no website for the Liberian legislature. It's ARET website you're talking about. I know about that very well. These are all.
Well, they have. I don't say Liberian legislature website. I said there's somewhere on the internet you can find information.
Can you imagine that? We somewhere on the internet to find information about our own legislation.
It doesn't matter, Leo. Whether it's a Liberian website, there's information out there. If you want information, you can get the information.
How can I authenticate that information when it's not put there by the legislature?
If you are the special envoy of the Liberty Party in the USA, then they are heading on the dead rock. I'm telling you.
Well, watch and see when we seriously take the sedition, the tiny sedition, when we take them back to Sino County for them to go and do more farming because they need to learn more. The culture, our culture. You saw Fernando Kofa. He don't even know what to do dancing. He can't dance. These are people that are gonna lead us. Watch Liberty Party.
Hold on one second.
Right, Bon County, Nima County. We're coming.
Mr. Gomia, hold on one second. Some people is trying to dilute this beautiful conversation. It's all over the place. We're not talking about total business. Mr. Gomia, are you understanding what this guy is talking about tonight?
Yeah, I'm understanding Mr. Toa. I understand him. But I think you were on the right track. Let's play. I think you should play the audio.
Let's see here.
Let's hear what Mr. YEKEH'S said, because we don't want to justify what he's saying, because if Mr. YEKEH'S is saying they're going to drag the president.
Okay, let's listen. Let's listen.
I'm waiting for them. You say the president is building, they're building 12 buildings, so you will build. So I want to see how far my communication goes. And I'm going to do another communication to the president's office. The communication I will go to our partners. When they receive it on Tuesday, we'll put it on the social media. And your name there, Samara, your name there, telling the people that you have looted the Liberian cover, you have looted the Liberian money, and you enriching yourself here. Because you say the president will not build and you don't build. They come in to change you. In fact, they feel they want to take the job from you according to you, that what you said to me in confidence. You will not go empty-handed. So you have decided to put something on the ground here. We want to say thank you for building. But the next government will take these buildings from you. Because we knew you here when you and you. We knew your record. When you were the final ministry, we knew your record. You know had nothing for yourself. And some of our colleagues can wake up and talk about the mental $400,000 from the bank. And they know what I told them. $400,000 from the bank. You see the justification? Criminals will always be criminals to back themselves, to back one another. You are lawmaker, you telling me that the mental $400,000 from the bank. Tell me nothing next time we'll call your name on the national radio. What's wrong with you? You want to come look at the mental $200,000 from the bank. You think the bank don't know who to get that kind of money to? You get that kind of money in the bank, the people that even saving in your bank, they can get $200,000, they can't talk about you get somebody $400,000. What kind of disgrace country is this? Mr. President, I'm waiting for a response from my communication. If you not say nothing, but just let me know. Say, yeah, you're wasting your time. Then I will know what Samara told me. Then are true. Then I will tell my back to Samara. I will come to you. Then we will know face to face. I won't say some things now, but I want to see what you say on my communication. I guess something to tell you, Mr. President. I guess serious thing for us to talk, for the Liberian people to hear. But let me see what you do with my communication. I'm sending another one again, telling you I want to see audience of you. And the people, my supporters are saying I shouldn't do it. When you go there, you will die. Oh, Mr. President, you can't do nothing to me. Let me tell you something. The medicine, I say get medicine too. I'm powerful than your own. So when you bring in the audience, I will come
my goodness.
and ask you. I will ask you a few questions. And one of the questions will be, have you received the communication on Samara Wolokoli? Have you received it? And Samara Wolokoli said to me that you're building, so he will build that true. And the questions I want to ask you, maybe my letter not start to Nathan Magay office. Honorable Magay, please get my letter to the president here. I know I address it to you. I know I address it to you. Say, Ambassador, you don't know that all your officials know that you're not going for second term. They want these senators and representatives now. Saying you don't know, sit down and let them make for all of you. One ready to handcuff you and drag you in the street of Morovia as a common criminal, then you will know. We got a lot of things to talk. But let me read the second communication. And I don't get redressed in 2 weeks. Then the thing we're supposed to talk, we'll talk again. Everything Samara told me not true. All the other ones he told me, I will tell the Liberian people. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, I want to say thank you for coming. Thank you so much.
Please, questions? For your name and institution, please.
Yeah, Honorable Afternoon, Jen Morris. I listened to you about communication to the president. I mean, he did mention was what's one of the things besides the issue. What's one of the things that in communication with the president?
No, I wrote him to investigate the attitude of his minister. He appointed him. I wrote him to investigate. I want to put him on record. I want to get to somewhere. So I want to put him on record before I get there. It's about the investigation of Samara Wolokoli. We want to know how Samara Wolokoli got that money to build all these story building he's building here. Have you gone there? You see how yesterday I asked question. I think I leave for going red. Then Samara will call somewhere again. You will not play this. You journalists have become an embarrassment to the country too. Sorry, but I have to.
Oh my goodness.
I want for Samara to sue me.
Thank you. Yeah.
My name is Simbo from People's TV. I'm calling to you. We're calling for you. Bolo calling. Can you hear the also?
Yeah, I will put it on CDs and give it to you because I want you to see the house building. It's on the social media. It's on the social media. Go and see what I want you to deny it. I know how he got the property. I know who he bought it from. I know who he bought it. And he said he bought it like his sister bought it. Wonder where the sister working.
How many people?
I will not tell you now.
Yes.
When we reach the court, then he said, when sue me, you court. I'm gonna give you my evidence here. Then one will get to the court. I can only give the evidence that you're building over there.
Oh my goodness. This is
I'm Amos Kosao from Fortune TV. Why is it that you always include the president into everything? For example, someone will call it a Liberian citizen and he has the right to take money or loan from the bank and carry on any development he wants to carry on. And it said that because of 2023, you feel threatened by the development he carried on in your district, because we saw you doing similar thing with the RG from Commerce Ministry when she was dedicating a pump in Peace Island.
Dedicating what pump? My pump carry Peace Island when she was dedicating.
She carried a project there. He had problem with it also.
She the one carry there. I said my question connected on. Before even the vice president, former vice president, took water the Peace Island, I took it out my personal money while I'm not represented. So she connected to my pump. Why she didn't run her own the pump from you from the ministerial complex? Oh, right now I call my pump. When I close my pump, you know, or when I get water. You know that one there? You ask her who point she connected to? Then you say the president? Who appointed Samara? Who I said he must investigate the minister. He know that Samara don't have food to eat when you go to CDC party headquarters. How he building those story buildings today? Then who am I go to?
Do you feel threatening?
Threatening my who?
By the development locals carry on your
I said
on
2023 I'll be running for the Senate. So who will run here? Maybe I will carry one of my office staff to be representative of the district. I'm going to be the next senator of Montserrat County 2023. I have started forming the Friends of YEKEH. Very soon we'll launch the Friends of YEKEH around Montserrat County.
Can you beat the Ebola hero? You will be contesting.
He never get medicine to a clinic right to New Joy market. No medicine, but he carry medicine to Guinea. That's serious man.
So what are you doing now for the 2020?
What I'm doing, I will tell you what I'm doing. When I launch your Friends of YEKEH, you will know what I'm doing. We're trying to very soon we'll launch your Friends of YEKEH. Then you will know. You think we're doing it by money? We're not doing it by money. Very soon we'll launch the Friends of YEKEH. We're trying to form the Friends of YEKEH. We want to know who all are friends of YEKEH.
Before you start your development?
When you got development, I get money for development. I say I brought the president. Ask the president, say what the money put in the budget for district number 10. Let me show it to you. I got money for development in district number 10. I'm using my own resources. The last time people houses got brand, I have to carry mattresses and other things. I'm using my salary to do that. We're not getting money. You think I'm getting money for development? I'll be writing the president to put him on record at 3 years. We are not getting 2,000 for scholarship. We are not getting it. 3 years. I want provoking to say maybe people eat our money to our capital building. So they will bring the people to say they will not receive it. Then the speaker will know.
You have oversight. Don't make on.
What kind of oversight? Don't talk about oversight. Man. You get oversight in the country. Look, I'm waiting for the speaker to appoint all the committee. I'm going to resign. That the committee bringing problem for the Liberian people here.
Why?
What committee doing? What interest are we committee in the interest of the Liberian people? Look, we should look at the problem. The Commerce Committee should be able to speak right now about the increase of the gas. So you think if I were on that committee, I will speak about it? I don't want to be part of any committee. I'm going to resign, or as usual, I want to speak about anything that happened in that capital building. I don't want to be restricted. I was not sent to that capital building to be part of committee. I was sent there to talk for the Liberian people. So you want to be on committee, be on committee.
So it means your work, you wouldn't be working for the Liberian people no longer, because the committee work for the Liberian people. Plenary, through plenary, the committee work for the Liberian people.
Also, what I'm doing right now, I'm not working for the Liberian people. As the committee people, when I now say the gap going up. Who the chair on Commonwealth, I didn't say you not talk about gap going up. I don't want to talk about it. No, I don't get to discuss my colleagues. I am saying I don't have interest in committee. It is a committee. When you are restricted to committee, you don't do anything. I've been appointed as a co-chair on national defense. We see a lot of things going on with the Soya people benefit. And we are going to start discussing that. We are going to get in the budget to ask the people, to tell the AFL people that this is what happened, this is what have been placed in the budget for you people, but your officials are eating it. If I'm on the committee, you know what happened? I'll be restricted. I will not talk. I don't want to be tied down by any committee. I did not go to capital. The committee came to capital building. I wanted to talk for the people of this country. And the things I was doing, most of my colleagues are calling me, my man, you know, the men are your countrymen. You know, when they call me, you know, I tell the people, I said I'm from Lofa, from Brangile. So the countrymen will be on in their country, the country being bad. Someone will call him and start building, storage building around here. I mean, our people are hungry here and see these things going on. When I tell the president, maybe the president not seeing it. Maybe he's not seeing it. So I'm going to write him again, and the letter will go to the same person. Maybe Natalia Mange will hold it. When Natalia Mange hold it, then I will tell the Liberian people who encouraging the people to build. Who gave them the go ahead? Samara said the president gave them the go ahead because he can't change them. So they should build, and they are building. Then you take me to court. You tell them proper money, you have money before, you tell them proper money, you pay the proper, they all right, accountable. You will tell you get the code. Tell me the code. You make me more popular when you tell me the code. La, no, they're not la because you build it here. You build it here. So that la, when I'm something that la, you can say you will take you get the code. I get evidence that you bought it land. And you know that you bought it. I get evidence that you building here. So you want to take me the code and make me more popular? Take me the code. That is how ambassador we are making popular in the country. By the time I say that I talk about the government, he bring for the throne right here. You affecting the citizens around here. The citizens are being affected because you come to throne right to YEKEH'S. When I went Grand Julia, you saw what happened there? He make himself very unpopular to get one zogo that to put people together to kill us. And you listen to the president when he went to Grand Julia, not so. He said, y'all forgive YEKEH'S, but you can't believe the president too. Maybe the president was high again. When he high, he know what to say.
Okay, thank you, YEKEH'S, Sylvester Churup, and the report of Fabric. You just said the John Bialek government receiving funding and donors from international partners in the misusing it or misappropriation. For the sake of clarity and exact figure, who are those international partners and how much do you think the government have received and misappropriate?
No, I didn't put that in my something. We're writing them because we know they are making contribution to this country. You know that American people making contribution to the country. That's all. You know the World Bank making. You now know that World Bank giving money to build roads. You know that World Bank putting coming all around here. I'm not gonna get you the figure. You go do your own research. I'm sure to do research for you. Your boy, you know that I'm sure to do it for you. The one you want to say that what I'm saying, you go do your own research and have a press conference and say World Bank did not get Liberia no money. YEKEH'S lying. I am saying donors are bringing money here. And you can't deny it. Sorry, that all the talk. I mean no harm. That all the talk. I want you to do your own research, please. Yeah. Where's the people that World Bank were the World Bank were on Peace Island and say this is not government funding? European Union. Okay, show it to him. We're ready EU to let them know that the money they're bringing here being used to build homes, private homes. We're ready them. We got the letter is already out. We'll give people a copy. We'll call the next press conference. As I go along, we'll call press conference. I mean, when you see me jumping in the street, then I mean, we're not achieving nothing in the house. Well, then we can achieve ourselves.
So yeah, that on the same clarity. So are you renting the international partners to start giving funding to the government or for the partners themselves to implement projects? Why are you renting the
if they see this evidence and do their own investigation and know that the money they're bringing for the Liberian people is not being used for the Liberian people, I will ask them to keep their money. There's no need for them. You can't be bringing money with suffering few people eating it. Why bring the money? The people bringing the money here and few people eating the money. The people suffering, why you bring it? Then keep it. We're suffering already within the water. So let us just stay in the water. No, if I get the power to do that, I will tell them when I bring money here. Because
you think it would be a good thing for the country?
Oh, what do you not make it good? You saw the money and put in water that he wants to eat that money. The president used 900,000 to visit 5 countries.
6 countries. 6.
I say in 5. You say 6. One country was just cash up. So one country is not there. Yeah, say you generally you want to say 5, and so I am saying 5 countries. So when you have your press conference, you must say 6. You hear what I say on what Amos? Don't correct me on what I want to say. Look at you generally you can talk before you can't say something different. Sorry, I have to talk. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay, thank you very much. So with my name is
So we're gonna watch this thing the whole day or what?
Yes.
Look,
Professor Zalovera, not CDC lawmaker.
This is
exactly
okay. Let me ask you, Mr. Gomia.
Yes,
I think we need to play it. Some people they don't have time to see it, but this is absurd. Do you investigate people for attitude?
I think the part that the liberal progressive was talking about, I think you played that. So I think that's important, where he talked about dragging the president in the street as common criminal. I think they played that. It was clear. But I don't know in Liberia whether we drag common criminal in the streets. So why would we drag the president in the street if he's going to take him as common criminal? I think it was clear, Mr. Simpson. I think that's what he said, Mr. Toe.
according to Mr. Toll, these people received training when they were elected. So based on how they're conducting themselves, that training looks like it worked really well.
Leo, I think I will take the side of the Liberal Progressive in that direction. They did receive training. And I think
Where?
from time to time, right there, and some of them travel out for
Where?
training. Yeah, they received training, Leo.
By who?
They received training from, I think,
My lawmaker did not receive any training. I know that for a fact.
well, maybe the present
I can make a point.
I'm not 100% sure about the present legislature, but over time, I think the 52nd, the 53rd, the 51st also legislature, they have received training. They did receive training. And I understand, Leo, what you are saying. You know, and everything you're saying, what we aspire to see. But I would just say you're aspirational, because the reality is that we haven't reached there yet. Now, also, but let me just dismiss some of the things you said, Leo. If you went to high school in Liberia, did you go to high school in Liberia, Leo?
No.
Yes, I went to high school in Liberia.
Okay. Well, when I went to high school, I was taught about the responsibility of legislators, and I was taught how bills were, developed. And my colleagues, I think most of whom right now are playing very top role all over the world. I think they learn from that, and so we do teach those things in Liberia. The Constitution also has clearly written the responsibility of legislators, and that's one thing. The problem is, and you are right, our political system, it doesn't allow for the best and the brightest to be elected. How we fix that? I don't think that's a government issue. It behooves all of us to strategize and find ways on how we fix it. When I engage a lot my people in Kakata, Magibi County, and there's always this tension between my young folks there and one of the legislators they have there. I'm not going to call the name, or I'm not going to say the name of the person. But most of the time when I engage them, is the issue of, it's not just one-sided thing. It's not that the legislators don't do their responsibility. The citizens sometimes don't even understand what the responsibility legislators are. So that's something I think you got an organization you're working on. That's something I have to work on. That's something the Liberal Progressive have to work on. All of us have to work on. Because it's unfortunate, our people definitely don't vote for the best and brightest. If you go for an election right now, you have 5 candidates. More than likely, at least qualified will win.
So let me respond quickly, since some of the points that I made were the points that were being clarified by or being rebutted. First of all, let me spell this out clearly. It's been very contradicting. One second you said it's starting high school, and another second you say even the citizens don't know what the responsibility are. How can we be teaching this? I'm coming. So how can we be teaching this in our high school and then the citizens don't know what it's in? But number two, I think it's very, very it's a bit troubling for me for us to be talking about things that are taught in high school as what's supposed to prepare lawmakers to be in the legislature. First of all, when you teach something in high school, the level of comprehension and understanding and the way the subject matter is brought down to the level of education is not compared to when you go into work as a lawmaker. So let's give it for the benefit of the doubt, first of all. Second of all, let me make this very, very clear. You people keep saying we are aspirational. I can understand, because you're not worried about the things that will work in your lifetime. Some of us, we are more concerned about the thing that should work 20, 30, 40 years down the road. We're not only concerned about what's happening in Liberia today, because this is one of the problems we've had. All our previous generations were only concerned about what's happening today. So we find ourselves repeating cycles over. So some of us are bringing a different discourse. We are younger than you, clearly. You've seen a lot. You have a lot of experience that we haven't seen. But there's something to say about experience. We need to make sure it is the right experience and what the outcomes and impacts have been. When it comes to the training issue, we're talking about going to Ghana. Ghana and Liberia don't even have the same parliamentary system, first of all.
It doesn't matter.
So because we have to rely on other countries helping us to go for training, we are even brave to be saying that when the truth is, we're supposed to be building capacity in our, if we can go to Ghana, what's wrong with us building our own capacity? This is not rocket science. I'm not asking for something that's impossible.
Leo,
okay.
I don't think Leo is really listening to us. I think Liberal Progressive laid it out for you.
What?
Just the same way you are thinking about 10, 15 years from now, we are all thinking about the same thing. By the moment we have issues and problems that need to be solved right now.
But the same the same thinking you used to create the problem.
Let's neutralize this conversation here a little bit here. We can have Pa Joyce and Gomiant and the Liberal. The professor is kind of giving it back to the Liberal, so he all in the happiness here this evening. Here. Pa Joyce.
Yeah.
What I'm concerned with here, I'm trying to forecast what is ahead of us. And I'm looking at 2023. There are 3 major elections pending. And that's where Liberia are going to be making decisions. So I'm judging whether we make rational decisions on what basis Liberians, the electorates, I see what is unfolding. We're going to have a senatorial, you're going to have both houses and the presidential. So what I'm concerned with here, for the most part, that the Liberals, they're going to flock. That's a word he always uses. We'll flock CDC. We'll flock CDC. I'm interested in having people who have the country at heart. If they really mean well, that's what I'm interested in. Is the opposition, are they properly positioning themselves? Their talking point, people that are within the inner cycles of the opposition, are they properly positioning themselves for 2023, saying this sort of red meat soundbites coming out? Are they the alternative to what is unfolding right now, you think?
No, the opposition has a serious problem. I think they are being soul searching. If anybody tell you right now that the opposition is ready to take power tomorrow, I would say no, it's too fast. They need to do more house cleaning. Because if you look at the people, faces now that are coming out, most of the people got questionable character.
Who are those people you're referring to?
Well, you know me, I don't have my feelings. I tell you as it is. Look at the face of the Liberal Party.
Oh Jesus.
Most ability. Now let me make this clear. I'm not saying he's guilty, but he has a record that he has to defend. And I said it before. I said the best thing Musa Belete could do for the Liberal Party at this time is for him to step aside and clarify his legal issue. If he's not guilty, he can come back to his position. But if he's guilty, then he step aside. Because we cannot be accusing President Weah of corruption or having people who are not qualified or tainted people. Then Musa Belete become the face of one of the party again. Now, let me go on the other side. This young political party just sprang up again. Who is there? Wemompe is the guy who they have there. That's the face of
Wemompe from the former ruling establishment, Unity Party.
Yes.
Cross-pollination.
Yes, it's the one they have there. Then tell me, how can we beat that drum on President Weah and we have these people here in this institution?
Is the opposition aware of these people, or is this a sort of a defiance, a deliberate, in denial that, okay, everything about George Weah or the CDC-led government is also, we're just going to dump anything on the Liberian people and that would be acceptable? Are they aware of that or what?
They are aware of the problem, but yeah, it's a caveat. Yeah, it's a thing that the opposite, other political parties want to hang on. And I would say to them, it cannot hold. You can't have it both ways. People are saying they are collaboration, but they are separate bodies. But if you are collaborating and you say you people are separate, and one person that is tainted and you people make decisions together, how can you separate yourself from that individual? We have to be real. And I think it's now time that Alexander Cummings, the Yomi Kanga, the Joseph Boakai, come and speak to this issue.
Benina Ure, you left that name out.
Benina Ure, come and speak to this issue. Like, let's look at the issue of Brandon Samokan today. Where is the position of the political parties? It is a complex thing. But the party now should make a position statement to the Liberian people where they stand.
Okay, let me hold you there. Mr. Gomian. Mr. Gomian?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, you once sat before the microphone to quest people to a long time, ELWA, ELBC. You listen to Pat George narrative. Does it hold a whole water?
Of course, yeah. What Pa Josh is saying is true. I mean, there are a lot of questionable characters that are on the whole political system in Liberia. Everything that is happening in Liberia, we have to really sit back and look and see where this country is going. I mean, why the opposition party? Yes, they came out. They are excited and they are doing a lot of things, but everyone is just saying whether you have questionable character. Once you win election for my party, then it's good to go. I don't think that's how we're going to change Liberia or make Liberia a better place when the same people that were there before that everyone was talking against them, now they have become today's heroes, and everybody is beating drum and dancing with them. So what Pa Josh is saying, he has some truth in what he's saying, but the opposition needs to start doing real soul searching and see what they're going to do. I mean, they have two major groupings. I don't know, the Rainbow Group or Rainbow Coalition.
Well, yeah, there are 11 parties on the banner of Rainbow Coalition.
Yeah.
The Samson Toll Party is on the banner of the collaborative party or something.
Yeah, collaborating political party. But here's the problem. I don't see CPP even holding up in 2023 because they have political parties with different competing factors in there. In fact, most of the time they are kind of at each other's throats. So we've seen some of these things before. When 2017 election was coming, some of these same political party gathered in Ganta and said they were going to collaborate. They're going to bike those, even whoever wins, whoever goes to the second round, they were going to bike that person against a unity party. But guess what? When that time came, the same people who signed paper that are going to buy whoever is standing when CDC was standing, most of them back away and started supporting Unity Party. So it's hard to trust these people, these politicians, when it comes to when election times is very close. So I think we all Liberians really need to sit back and see, and maybe go back on the drawing board and see what we can do to bring meaningful change in Liberia.
Okay, before I go to the liberal here, Pagomian, do you have a political affiliation as we speak?
No, right now, I don't have a political affiliation. I think I told a group that we were in the process of putting a party together that's based on ideology instead of individual, because what we have in Liberia now is in addition, let me just conclude. Yeah, what we have in Liberia now is just individual that have name recognition, and they put a group together and they call it political party. There's no ideology. They are not. They don't subscribe to anything, because that's why you see people jumping from one place to another. We need to build a system in Liberia, an institution. That's why we need to build. And most of us are here or that in Liberia and abroad. We need to look at what is happening in other countries and maybe see what we can do instead of I go and say, I have a political party. When this other person jump, he comes to my party. That's why I like what Mr. Toole always say. He said he's liberal progressive. I mean, that's his ideology. I mean, if I want to join somebody, if I want to be a liberal progressive, who am I going to look for? I look for Mr. Toole. But right now, if I go to Liberia, I can join. If I join Unity Party, that's Bakai's party. If I join CDC, that's Wea's party. If I join ANC, that's Kumi's party.
Mr. Gomian.
Yes.
Let's not then say with ambiguity here to leave our audience in down here. And this is how politicians and all of that. So let's nail it on the head right away. We have 4 parties collaborating under the banner of CPP. We have 3 as a coalition, the ruling establishment.
Right.
We have 11
right.
rainbow coalitions of WAPO and Reginald Gorich. And then we had Dr. What his name said, Dr. Cassell with the People Liberation Party, something like that from Mozambique, name and all of that. And I'm hearing you now saying you are putting, is it in addition or will you join one of these groups?
Yeah, it's in addition.
More the merrier.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, more trouble, more trouble overcoming. So,
but before you leave him, he says something that's very important. I just want him to clarify. He said all the other political parties, they are based on individual. His party will be more about ideology. What's the ideology of your proposed party? Do you care to share?
So why not do that? Can we wait before the guy say, you know what, they people are not coming? Let's wait when it comes, then we'll put it into the lion den. But in the interest of fairness, let me bring in Liberty Party USA-based member Samson Toll. Mr. Toll.
Yes.
The issue. Hold your peace, because I saw you moving, rocking, taking a flight to Total, but you're still in California. The issue of your party chairman ability, it seems not to go away. Mr. George consistently pounding you on this problem here, and I believe it's based on what the Liberians are saying. How are you guys going to water it down?
Thank you. I think many of you, many people out there that continue to hang their hat on this false narrative, which is, I call it false narrative, which have to do with the FIFA suspecting corrupt behavior or musability. There's a video out there, and many of you will eat crow. Come to think about it, I'm being very serious. There's a video out there, and I'm going to do a show on that. There's a video out there where musability put the entire FIFA, headed by the European, on trial. And this is what I believe. This is one of the reasons why they refuse to take his case in the court. Because if they do, and what he stated on that video that I'm going to be having a show on, if he comes out and say that, you will find many African nationalists will come to his defense. Let me leave it as that. Now, Leo, the young man, I know he doesn't need my sympathy, and he knows exactly what he's talking about. But I feel for this young man in that his aspiration of future development, future endeavor in terms of Liberians, young Liberians getting involved and things like that. It excites me because I have seen this before. I have participated in these kinds of idea before. Back in the 80s, okay, I was in Canton with one Dr. Marcus Dunn, one of the guru of liberalism. Let's put it that way. But one of the things that I admire, he was just as young as Leo is right now, by the way. And him and Marcus Matthew, Samuel Jackson, Wesley Johnson, they all were in this thing together. And at that time, they didn't have this kinds of cell phone, adequate email, and none of those kinds of things. So what they used to do was to travel from state to state to organize themselves and have conversation. Okay, to have conversation about Liberian future. And they used to drag me along with it. If you were to sit in those meetings and listen to some of the ideas that these young people are putting forth, you will want to know why is it that when these people are given the opportunity, these type of idea was not implemented. Some of us question those things. They used to have another organization, what they call All Liberian Conference. Liberian from Europe, Liberian from Liberia, here in America, will gather together and try to brainstorm on what is happening in Liberia in the 80s. One of the functions that I attended was in Akron, Ohio, where we have Milton Tiegi, who was then a student at Kent State University. He was
right?
Mr. So, hold on. I'm trying to give some context.
Honestly, I'm seeing the same TIJ that caught on tape, who is a senator.
Yes.
No, he always hang around. Those are your boys. So why you want to be? Why you don't want to associate yourself?
Oh, Mr. So, please let me. Please, I'm just trying to lay something out here.
Carry on, buddy.
Where Dr. Tipotet, Dr. Sawyer, Dr. Seon, they were all present. The high hierarchy of the brains of Liberian young people, they were all present. And they have Dr. Kuta, who was a German professor. They all came in, and people were trying to find out how to move this country forward. So this new thing, it's not new for Leo to have this kinds of high aspiration for Liberia, not just for himself, but this is thing that people have done. Now, one of the things you will find out, Leo, as you go on, you will find people that will want to be part of this. But at the end, many of those people, and I'm speaking from experience, perhaps I'm wrong, but many of these people that are going to try to join you would want to do it for recognition. Once they get that recognition, specifically in Liberia, they will leave you and go to Liberia. We have people like that. There's a young man, well, now he's young anymore, Mr. William Yanu, who wanted to be a senator here recently. He had an organization here, okay, Liberia United for Reform, where we got together. Somebody who wrote the paper for CDC was part of that group, and I'm not going to call his name right now. But anyway, we got together and tried to formulate plans how we can distribute the Constitution in a simple language to as many Liberians as possible back home.
Quickly here, Mr. Toll.
Hold on, Mr. So there were a few people among us who interest only to be recognized and be given position in Liberia. So, Leo, like I said, I understand your position. I'm not arguing against the position. However, those of us that have these experiences, we're trying to point it out to you. With your brain, and not just tonight, many times. And I talk to you, Mr. So, behind the scene, that Leo speak above us. He speak way years to come. And I appreciate that, to have a young man like that who is thinking about the future of this country. That means the future of Liberia is still ahead. How many Leos out there that are going to come? Look at among you, Leo, in your class, in your age group. Look at the amount of platform over there. Continue to preach lies about what is happening in the country. These are the same age group you are. So those are the people that you're going to have to battle with. However, this is what I'm going to do, Leo. I will hope to invite you on my show and then bring another person on your age group, because these kinds of information, these kinds of discussion need to be had, because that's the only way we're going to move this country forward. And I appreciate your aspiration. I've listened to you on other platform and things like that. You express yourself very well. In fact, the first thing I heard you speaking, I tell you, you're some kind of representative over there in Canada. I said, but when the Canadian doing a Liberian platform? But because of the idea you put forward. So I appreciate that. However, as a liberal progressive, Mr. So, don't bring down your conservative thing right now. As a liberal progressive, Leo, what I'm saying here tonight, the representative, whether they be Domo, they eat Domo in the Capitol building, they are our people. What we need to know is that Liberia is safe. Millions of Liberians will gather tomorrow and be safe. This is not banana republic.
All right. So
these people are running a country. Let's give them that opportunity.
Yeah, can
I respond?
Yeah, come in. Let me go to a professor. This guy, his Komaya, this sort of
I just don't want to miss on a lot of stuff, important stuff that Mr. Toll laid out, I think, if you don't mind.
I just want to, because he indicted Professor Zawlo's party here, that they wrote a paper and gave it to CDC. I'm not even sure whether he adequately addressed the concerns of Mr. George. A whole huge laundry. There's a videotape out there. He just did a salad dressing with this Musa ability, and he knows very well this is not going away. Professor, what's the paper these people wrote and gave to you? Oh, okay. I think something told him.
He's not going to answer the question. He got to excuse himself.
Something. Okay, let me bring in Leo before the professor comes back.
All right, while we're waiting for the professor, I just want to lay out a few things here. When Dr. Martin Luther King started the civil rights movement, and he said he had a dream, the leaders of the Black community in the United States said Dr. King was so crazy that the only way he could see Black people being free was aspirational in his dream. That's why he was told. Today, we know what the story turned out to be because of Dr. King's dream. 10 years ago, Mr. Soul, when I went to Liberia and said it is unacceptable that there is not one purposely public library in the Republic of Liberia for our children, we needed to do something. People said I was too aspirational. 10 years later, I'm pleased to tell you that a $2 million public library construction has started, all the money raised in Canada to be built in Liberia. That too was aspirational. Let me put it this way. When the young guys of the day, the young brains of the day, the Dr. Sawyer, the Dr. Famulas that people talk about, they too were aspirational. Guess what? Their dreams came to pass. They took power. They came into power. We can debate what their outcome has been, but they've all been in the corridors of power for a long time now. Dr. Sawyer just got through being the chair of the Governance Commission for 12 years. Dr. Famula just got through being the National Security Advisor to Madam Salif for another 12 years. All these people, their aspirations came to reality. The debate is what did they do with it. So let me make this very clear. When I sit here, I'm not just talking aspirations. I'm talking things that we are already implementing. As I speak to you, I'm about to head to Liberia in 8 weeks with over $200,000 US funding from the MasterCard Foundation in Canada to pilot a business incubation project for 75 young Liberians who are underprivileged. We are implementing now. The difference is we're doing it differently. We are not asking people to give us power to do it. We are saying keep political power. We will find another way. We will
carry on and go farming.
We will find the institutional money. We will go to Liberia. We will do it without any political power, any political influence, because at the end of the day, the things that we say, we need to demonstrate that it makes sense. Because leadership is not just saying. Leadership is also your ability to navigate the corridors of access that we've gained in this beautiful country that we are and pull the resources from the holes they are in this country, they exist, and bring it to bear in our society without any leverage of political power. Because at the end of the day, our story in Liberia has always been the leverage of political power to do stuff. So I can tell you a lot of my colleagues that I'm working with, we are disputing that and debunking it. You don't need we'll bring millions of dollars to Liberia without any political leverage, and we will do what we want to do on the ground so people can see that it has nothing to do with political power. It has to do with determination. It has to do with the skill set. It has to do with the mobilization, and it has to do with the ability to get the job done in spite of the corruption, of the challenges, and of the governance issues.
And with other people money. And with other people money. And with other people money, right?
No other people money, with money that we worked hard for. I worked 10 years to raise
$2 million. Other people money.
That's not other people money.
No, that professor.
So the IMF gave you $100 million. Other people money too?
Of course, yes.
Exactly, but not other people money. I worked for it.
Okay, yeah, that's
I worked 10 years for it.
Leo, that's fine. If that's the case, that's great. And I'll tell you this. We appreciate Liberians doing those things. And I will tell you one thing. I just one in among the many other Liberians who are doing it. And we all applaud those things. And look, we're not sitting here and telling you that stop what you are doing. What we are saying here is that we have some tax at hand. Some things that have to be resolved now. And we need to be engaged in those things. Some of the things you talked about, we're not doubting it. I'm not telling you that I love to see Liberian legislature the way it is. I'm not telling you we should stop and not make any effort to change what's going on over there. By the way, that's one of the reasons why I got into the business of opening schools in Liberia, to change the way the kids speak, to change the way the kids engage each other, to change the kind of narrative we have.
Professor, let me intercept you here. To change the way the kids speak, to change the way things happen. But are we also changing the ways of people who are supposed to even serve as the role models of the society? We have now, you were talking, we have our national leaders who are very careless in their speaking, who have a incoherent message, their inability, they are politically intolerant to one another. They are unwilling to even engage, to have a conversation, to have a dialogue. I know, Mr. To, I don't know why you're looking at me like that, but I'm speaking the facts. I'm talking things that's happening. And that comes from both the ruling party and the opposition. But unfortunately, the Liberian people...
That's what we're doing. That's what we're exposing them. We're exposing those people.
We want people to change this narrative and not just expose them.
But I didn't stop there. I said we're exposing them, and in the process of exposing, that's what we're trying to get the kids.
How long can we continue with this exposure?
No, but listen, we're not doing we're not exposing it and stopping there. That's what I indicated earlier. I said that's one of the reasons why I got into this whole business of running schools in Liberia, to change the way people think, to change the way people go about the business of governance, of management, everything in society.
When are you going to Liberia to conduct trainings and workshops? I think people, most of the time, I think that's one of the things that is lacking here. We lack of trainings, lack of workshops, or even if those symposiums are held, what are there's a set goal for those?
Let me tell you this. Let me say this to you. One of the biggest problems I have with most of our county organizations, even the ULA and the rest of it, when you talk to them about development, about programs and projects they're going to build in Liberia. For example, I'll give you one example. University of Liberia Alumni Association. One of the biggest projects they wanted to do in Liberia was to paint the university campus, to paint it. It's not looking decent, so they will paint it. When I'm thinking about projects, I'm thinking maybe in the direction that Leo is thinking about, a library that will get the kids reading, for example. When I'm thinking about project, I'm thinking about, like you saw what I did, going home, gathering a group of teachers on several occasions and training them to be able to rethink about the way they teach and to think about the whole educational business. I'm talking about
going to this government that you're
why am I aspirational then?
Encouraging you.
So you're also aspirational too.
Yeah, and I feel so bad for him because
it's a little different.
This guy has invested a lot. He went out there to train teachers, to prepare teachers for WYE. This government that you support, are they supporting your initiative? Are they buying your idea?
No, one of the things, and that's where Leo and I might differ from. Let me tell you one of the things I believe in. I don't believe that. I believe that nobody wants anything. And if I have a calling, I go after my calling. If it means that I wouldn't have food for my family, I will go after and do it. I don't even encourage, because one of the things that, one of my personal problems I have, I believe like problems of Liberia should be solved by Liberians. So I'm not too so in this idea of going to Americans or other people to come and solve our problem. Because when they come to solve your problem, then they come with something. They want to change your culture. Just recently we saw Katie Myler in Liberia, running schools in Liberia. One of Katie Myler and the British International Academy programs they had in Liberia, I don't know what you guys knew about it, was to teach moral education. And at the very top of the moral education they intended to teach in Liberia was one thing to say that it's okay to have two mama and two papa.
Okay, one thing to say.
I got no problem with.
Okay, one thing to say.
In Liberia is a totally different situation. So let's clarify.
Wow. Okay. So you don't mind violating somebody's rights in Liberia?
I just don't understand
right here in the United States.
I just don't understand
that. I can't believe you said that. I can't believe that you were trying to violate somebody's human rights in Liberia, but they respect it here, Professor. I can't believe that. I hope that's not what you're saying.
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. Let me explain to you. Let me
you guys accuse me of being aspirational.
No, Leo, I beg you, let me clarify this so you don't go with any misconception. When it comes to what you think I'm thinking about, I believe every man, woman has a right to decide who they love or they don't love. I believe that. But here's what I say. We should not impose that on our children in Liberia. We should allow them to grow and develop, and at an appropriate stage in their life, make that dissemination. I support.
Okay. Let me tap into the idea of the unborn.
I beg you, Mr. So, before the Liberal Progressive go and misconstrue, let me tell you something. I support. I am totally in favor. I have nothing against homosexuality. I believe it's a personal choice, and that's not my business to decide on who a person sleeps with, whether in Liberia or the United States. I just don't think we should impose it. We should begin teaching our kids in Liberia that. That's all.
Wow. Okay.
How can you say you support your belief?
Let me bring in
I just don't want to push it. I don't think we should be teaching our kids that. I mean, people, like I said, I believe there's a time in life when people make this kind of decision. And so we should give people the opportunity to live their lives as young people, and at the appropriate age, they can make this decision. I don't think we should be going out of classroom teaching those things. That's what I'm saying.
Let me bring in Mr. James from here. Let's go into the mind and thought process of the unborn, unknown political institution that is about to give birth again to Liberia with new ideology. There are a lot on the table. Mr. Gomia.
I have a question for Mr. Gomia and Mr. So before he goes, if you don't mind, so he can speak to it for me.
Yes, yeah, you can ask him.
My question is, and Liberal Project, all of you can jump in that later. How can people be still organizing political parties in Liberia or have them? I'm yet to see the audited financial report of any political party in the Republic of Liberia when the laws of Liberia says foreign financing is illegal in our electionary matters. How can we have political parties in Liberia? People in the US who said here when the elections are going on, the people report
money
financials every quarter. You hear the media tell you the Democratic Party financials is this, the Republican Party financial is this. These are people who want to take over our national coffers. So please help me understand. How come we have no accountability and transparency?
We have to bring this thing here to the federal government because illegal
I'm sure about that 100%.
But I'll tell you this. When we were in the opposition, we were requested to present our finances.
Can you send me a copy, please?
I have to check my stuff, but we're requested to.
Yeah, if you can find one, that would be great. Because I never everybody.
We're requested to present our finances. It was demanded that we maintain a party to election commission.
Can you send me a copy, please? And the old one.
Yeah.
Is it a public record, Professor?
What?
Your finances.
Your disclosure.
Under the Freedom of Information Act, I'm sure you can be able to get it.
Freedom of Information Act to get your financials. It should be public document.
No. That's not what I'm saying. Listen to me. No. Get
it. After Mr. Gamian finished speaking, I have a question.
All right, we got 20 minutes to go. So we gotta wrap it on here.
Okay, let me come in.
Let Mr. Gomia.
Why you saying it's true?
As brief as possible.
Yeah. Well, I can be. Well, give me a little bit of time.
Go ahead.
I'll be brief.
But
there are a few things I wanted to touch on before Leo asked that question. But Leo, the thing that you just explained, those things are on the books, and the election commission is supposed to follow up with those things with the various political party. It's on the books. But the thing is, if you have a law that is not being implemented or that is not being used, it becomes useless. So that's why it is. So those are things that we need new ideas and new people to come in and try to make those things work.
So we should be corrupt because the laws are not there.
If I pass a law, I say, okay, on this panel, this is what we need to do, but we are not adhering to that, then it's useless. Okay. So
but can you set a high standard yourself for your own self? Can you still do right? Can you still do the right thing?
Set a high standard. Yes, you have to.
Do you have to?
Yes, you have to, as an institution wanting to take over government.
Yes,
you want to take over our government.
Leo, if I can win my elections without doing that, then what do I have to do?
Then what kind of trust and transparency are you preaching against the other people when yourself can practice it?
Leo, you're not talking about trust and transparency.
Financial reporting is the bedrock of any institution.
Leo, if I can win an election by spending $1 million, why would I spend $2 million?
But no, I'm not talking about $2 million. I
think Leo was talking about the infiltration of foreign funds into our elections.
Exactly, without any financial reporting and any accountability.
Because there's no accountability.
Professor, you don't see that as a crucial point. I have issue with that. Because if we are to hold national government and other people held accountable, people go to federal prison here because of lack of financial accountability, especially when it comes to campaign funding. We see people raise tons of money, yet they are not even qualified voters, electors of Liberia, and they get money, and these people do not disclose the donors of those people. The donors are.
Let me contextualize my response.
You just look. What Leo just said is just a little symptom of what is happening on the whole Liberia. Nothing is working in Liberia. Okay, so that on the finance he's talking about political party raising money. People come from all over the world, put money into the Liberian elections.
That's right.
Okay,
which is wrong against the law.
Because the organizations that's supposed to be policing these elections are not doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Ignorance of the law is not an excuse. You still do the right thing.
to regulate that?
Leo,
You still can follow the law. You won't take over government. You need to
Okay,
set the
gentlemen,
standard.
this is how we're going to do it. Let's neutralize it. I'm going to give everybody two minutes. Within that 2 minute scope here, so we also want post system in place. Yeah, in that 2 minutes, hopefully we'll try to wrap it up because we are out of time. And believe me or not, this conversation is going to go on. The liberal
are you trying to put system in place because you're out of time, or you think this is the time to initiate a true system?
This guy here. I don't know.
He wants Leo on his side, so he come in with that punch.
We know we are. All of you guys know we are here for 2 hours, and 2 hours is sufficient. The liberal, every morning I have to wake him up to go to work. This guy, every morning I gotta call him to go to work. Other than that, he will go late. And even though he prefers to be a young guy, but he is not. Even though he poor dog and Jomo oil. Then when we leave the program, I will please wake me up tomorrow morning. I'm like, whoa. So yeah, gentlemen. Okay, let's see here. We gotta wrap it up. I know tomorrow is the first day working week here. But this is a very serious problem. And I'm concerned, and that's the responsibility of even the Election Commission, the institutions that are responsible to regulate and to enforce, to make sure, because we say one thing and different thing is done on the side, and we expect transformation to take place. It's just not possible. The liberal, in 2 minutes, not 2 minutes USA time, not 2 minutes total town, 2 minutes in total. 2 minutes in USA. Do you want to go first, or Pat George, you want to go? Who wants to go first?
I'll be the timekeeper.
But then the liberal done because Zalo will 1 minute 30 seconds. Zalo will call it up. You are the best man. Okay, liberal in 2 minutes.
Yeah, well, no, Mr. So, thank you very much for this program. I think we need to do these kinds of program on a very serious note. We need to do this kinds of program regularly, where you will invite other young people to come and express themselves. Because I think with Leo, I may add that his aspiration tonight is running through the roof. But the question I was going to ask Leo, and I'm still asking, I hope in his 2 minutes he can answer that. How is he going to manage with this kinds of thing that he's putting together? How is he going to manage to take the government corrupt hands out of this kinds of thing that he's trying to do that is so that hopefully will be useful for Liberia? But knowing fully well that our country, Liberia, is so corrupt that not only the government, but even private citizens who may want to work with you will be coming in for other reasons than to carry your stuff. How do you deal with that? Mr. So, all I can say that I'm going to have my show tomorrow. I was thinking to invite Leo and other people, but I think I will do the Musa Ability issue tomorrow.
He's trying to seek redemption of his
Mr. So, you got me 2 minutes. Why are you trying to disturb my 2 minutes? Please, that's not the way it's supposed to go. So, let me finish my 2 minutes. But anyhow, Mr. So, I want to thank you very much. I think I enjoyed the show. This is one of the best ideas being exchanged here tonight. This is one of the best as far as I know. So thank you very much. And we hope to be on again another time.
Pat Joyce, the guy is unable to address your question, so he's trying to seek redemption on his own platform where he will take dominant, he will take control over everything. He will never invite you. He will only call you by phone. And at the end of the day, he will cut you off. 2 minutes. Go ahead.
No. If he wants to invite me, he will invite me. He don't cut me off anyway. But I hope he should not be sitting total the commissioner on the day he would let him go and sit down right up there. Total ain't where the commissioner, the parliamentary company go and sit down right there. But here's the thing here. And the issue that deal with this thing I have been asking questions. Because this thing it has from government to government, political parties heading the government, they have been doing this thing here. And once I raised the question, I said, I want to see the payroll of the payroll, the people that are paying the chairman of the ruling party like CDC. I said, I want to see the payroll. Where is this money coming from? Who raising this money?
Why on the CDC?
because right now they are in power. I spoke about it before. I said
doesn't
every
like it.
government, where the money come from to sponsor that party, we should know where that money coming from. If it comes from members donation, let us see the payroll. If it is deducted from member one in government, let us see the payroll. Because we talk about transparency. Yeah, we talk about that money. That is not happening. And we need to speak on this issue. People who donate to political party, how that political party is funded, we want to start seeing the document, the financial statement of this institution. Because it's what is happening today. The dark money in Liberia is not Lebanese and Indian boss who pump the money into political institution, and when they win, they take all the contract and give it to the Lebanese and Indian boy in Liberia. That is what's happening there. And it is not fair. And Professor Zaro don't say if you spend $2 million at the winning election, we should not ask you. No. For transparency, we must ask you where that money is coming from. Because based on that, your interest will know where your political interest lies and who you're dealing with. That is the reason we want this thing to be transparent. We want to see that when political party is in the election commission law.
Okay.
But it's not being enforceable.
Wow. No one is safe with Pat George when he closing his closing argument. Okay, let me go down to Leo, your 2 minutes.
Thank you, and I raise this issue and I'll raise it again, and I will answer your question quickly in my 2 minutes. The liberal progressive Mr. told that the issue with myth, to some extent, I will say that you can do anything in Liberia except you deal with corruption and get involved in it. I disagree. I've worked in Liberia for the last 10 years. I've dealt with 2 different governments with 3 different city mayors now. And all of them, I will tell you, have been great people, very transparent in going from place to place. In every government, regardless of how corrupt it is, there are serious people there who you can find that are willing to facilitate things. Here's the problem we face. We in the diaspora, we get all beautiful ideas on paper, but nobody get the money to go implement it. We go to Liberia and we want to try and see someone at crocodile way who can use the government to leverage to get the money. So at the end of the day, we participate in the corruption. My experience is different for the last 10 years. In fact, the city of Pins and other places has spent more money helping me to facilitate this process to get to where we are than I've put in. So I would say both CDC and UP government, I've worked with transparent people who have committed themselves and will do whatever it takes, including the city mayor of Pins, who transported herself to come to Canada to take one of our largest donors who did another $50,000 right away. She came here on her own, paid for her own lodging and everything without asking us for a dime. But let me get to the question here about financing for my last 1 minute. The issue of political financing is very straightforward. How can people be asking us to give them national government coffers and be accusing and say their principles are transparency? And they tell us that because there's a law on the book that say you should report, but nobody enforcing the law, so we too will not do it. How you will run government? Because you're a government in waiting. So my thing is, political parties have a responsibility. I can join any organization. Look, any serious organization, you want to know what's happening, follow the money. Know where the money is coming from and know how it's being spent. You will determine right away whether that's a serious group of people. So we need to make sure these documents don't have to be by Freedom of Information Act. These are requirements on the books, whether they are enforced or not. If you want to be government, you want to rule our country and take care of our entire budget, you are under obligation to act like a government. Publish, and your financials should even be audited. You should take it one step higher. Publish audited financials, because it is in your financials. People make decisions whether to vote for you or not, depending on who's funding you. When we see it, we'll know whether that's true you're talking, that you deal with transparent people, or there are crocodile people you are dealing with that are funding your campaign. So when you win, when funny people start showing up and winning BB contracts, we don't need to be surprised, because we'll know who funded you and why you have.
All right. Okay, Mr. Gomia.
Yes, okay. 2 minutes. Okay, maybe Leo didn't get me clearly. We did not say that we're not going to be transparent in our financial dealings or where we get the money from to fund the organization. All I was trying to tell you is we have these laws on the books, but they are not being implemented. People are not using those laws. But I'm not saying that we're going to do the same thing and don't follow the laws. That's not what I said. So I hope you get that clear. And then secondly, my going to Liberia or my involvement in Liberia is not only in politics. I was in a humanitarian work. Okay, if you go to Liberia today, you will find one of the largest group. In fact, the organization that I took to Liberia in 2002 is the one that built the first Ebola clinic in Liberia. And I was also responsible for making sure that the radio station that was destroyed in Liberia, we had an organization here that built that radio station and put by the hospital. And the organization that I took also they have just built a brand new hospital on the ELW compound. So I was involved in those things. So I used to think just like you are thinking when I was young. But you have to realize that everything that we do in Liberia is affected by what the government does, because most of those things were in 2004. I took $1 million worth of drugs in Liberia, not only for ELW, but we also took it to JFK. And when you turn around, those things are taken and put in private or drugstores. So we need a government that works. A government that will be able to be responsible, that will be able to be accountable, people that will be accountable. Even the lawmakers we're talking about, they allocate funds. They're supposed to have oversee that. Okay, if you allocate funds and the executive branch is working with this money, what is the oversight? Do you go to finance and say, okay, or public works say we allotted $4,000 for this project? What have you done? Those things need to be happening. And those things are not happening.
Okay. All right, Mr. Gomia, thank you so much. Let me go to the professors. Professor Zawlo.
Yeah, look, quickly, let me just say, Leo, I admire your courage and I admire your work. Leo, as a mathematician, we say the just one counter argument sufficient to disprove a theory or a concept. You've indicated here you've worked with several mayors and several government officials, and they have been so transparent. And that's fine. I believe you, and I know that has happened. But Leo, that doesn't dismiss the fact that I'm a person who strongly opposes, doing things under the table. But I will expose somebody here right now, so you understand some of the challenges that some of us have to go through. The guy who's managing the government center in Kakata, I spoke to him directly about 2-3 months ago, when I had to when I paid government taxes to have my school open, and he wouldn't just take the document from my staff unless we pay him $10. Furious, I got on the phone. What did he do? He threw the paper in the face of my staff and said that I'm in America. He doesn't know this country.
Yeah.
That's one. Two, for 1 year, I paid the registration for one of my schools also, and I chased government, the Ministry of Education, for a whole year to get my license. At the end of the day, the money I paid for the first year, they said, just forget what I want. Let's pay it over. All I'm saying to you, and then the reason why I'm saying to you these things is that we have people who are responsible to do things in Liberia. They don't work the way they're supposed to work. You take, for example, the Election Commission. I understand. If I run, like I said, I own 2 schools in Liberia. I'm a good friend of the government. I do something. I have all my documents correct, accurate. I pay my taxes. Now, if there's an election commission that is charged, entrusted with responsibility of auditing the political parties, and they cannot carry the work, I think our effort and energy should be directed at that institution. It shouldn't be at the political parties. I do understand. If I was in that position, look, let me say, if I was in the position, I think I would personally want to make whatever I have available. But a typical individual, like I said, if a typical individual can spend $1 million to accomplish a tax, he wouldn't spend $2 million to do the same thing.
But the political parties say they're transparent.
So, gentlemen, thank you so much. That's how we're going to do it today.
That's the reality, Leo. That's the reality.
Okay, folks, I want to thank you so much for another discussion to all our listeners and viewers. Thank you so much. Don't hesitate to send your suggestions and contribution as to how we can improve this program.
Please don't forget to call Mr. Fo.
Leo, put a message there for me.
Leo,
I will message you. Prof, I will message you.
Arrangement.
Yeah, you are all come ya, where you are.
Well, folks, that's how we're going to bring the curtain down. So I want to thank all of my contributors, analysts, Professor Zalo, Mr. James Gomian, the Liberal Progressive, Samson Branto, Leo, in Canada, as usual, for giving back to the country. Thank you so much and have a pleasant evening.
Why you are a canker away? I mean, what's what I like? Come and start a beer, come on, like a yellow. We are all Meloman was so good.